Okay, guys, I'm waiting. We are in line waiting for our guest to show up. So y'all just hang loose here. Let me make sure he can get it. We're having some technical issues, but not really. He's gonna get it. He is going to get it. Okay. So as soon as he does, let me see here. Okay. You can log on now if you like. If you like. Like. If you like. Because I got to make sure this all works. I don't look like an idiot today. Of course, it won't be the first time I look like an idiot. Okay. But we are waiting for Dr. Z. Dr. How do you pronounce his name? Z-I-C-K. Z-I-C-K. And hopefully he's going to be there. Z-I-C-K-E. Y-O-U-S. Okay. Y-O-U-S. He's communicating with me through his cell phone at the moment. Okay, good. So, for the blue box, it says STREAMYARD. Okay, so hopefully he will be on in a couple of minutes. A couple of minutes. See what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this at the top of the page. Now it's at the top of the page. Or is it at the top of the page? Okay, so let me see if I can. Okay. Pin that. Okay, so let me get back here. Okay. Okay, so let me redo it. Let me redo it. Okay, it ain't 10 o'clock yet, so I still got time. Okay, now let's go here. Go here. Y'all just hold on. Hold on for a minute. Hold on for a minute. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, then. Now we got it. So let's pin that to the top. Okay. So it should be at the top of the page now. All righty then. I'm waiting for him to come on in. It's set. Okay. Redo it. Okay. Because I had to replace it. So refresh your page. All this technology stuff, it's okay, but it's a pain in the butt sometimes. Okay? It's a pain in the butt, but now it's there. And so we are waiting for Dr. Well, you know his name is Dr. Zacchaeus Byrd. I think it's B-Y-R-D. B-Y-R-D. Well, let's put since he's an educator, I want to make sure I put the right capital letters. B-Y-R-D. I've been trying to find my son's graduation online today, but it's not. I can't find a Facebook page for them either. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. There he is. Let me make sure I get him online here. Okay. Bam. All right. Dr. Byrd. Dr. Byrd. Hmm. Do you have a microphone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, there you go. There you go. There you go. See, I thought you were gonna make me look bad. Then I I'll have to explain to everybody where he was coming. Uh, but but
Yes,
but
sir.
but he is here. First of all, introduce yourself to my folks here. Tell them who you are, and you were just installed as the superintendent here a couple months ago, a month ago, or something like that.
May the 1st.
May the 1st. So tell us a little about who is Dr. And listen, let's pronounce your name. I got Zacchaeus Byrd.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes. Well, I am called by many names. Of
Yeah.
course, I'm called Zacchaeus. I'm called Zacchaeus. And of course, went into a family and friends. I'm called Zach or Eat a Bird. So
Okay. Well, I got another one for you because my son name is Zarel and he starts Z. So I'm gonna call you Dr. Z. Okay. Like I call him Z. I'm calling you Dr. Z. That's right. So,
whatever you're comfortable with, or you can just call me Zach. It doesn't
yeah.
matter to me. I answer to most names.
Now you paid a lot of money for that doctor thing, so we gonna call you that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about you and where you from, and are you from Alabama?
Yes, sir. Most
Okay.
definitely. Most definitely. Again, well, my name is Zacchaeus Byrd. I was born in Pritchard, Alabama. And so I was born, of course, went into a single mom that did the very best that she could to raise her two boys. At the age of 5 years old, my mom, she married and she decided to move us to a very rural area called Washington County. And so I had the opportunity to attend Boykin Elementary and graduated from McIntosh High School. And I tell people all the time, I am so thankful for that pathway because I've had the opportunity to live the life of the best worlds. I've had the opportunity to have that experience, sort of that suburb of Mobile kind of area, living in Pritchard, also being a part of Mobile. And I've also had the experience of living in a very rural area. So I've seen the best of both worlds. And so now I'm thankful for my experiences in both places, in Pritchard as well as McIntosh, Washington County, because I tell people all the time, Washington County really taught me about life. It really taught me what and how to appreciate the simple things in life. Of course, McIntosh was a very, again, rural area. And so I was brought up, of course, in riding the bikes, through the pathways, going through the woods, trying to go to friends' houses. While I was brought up in a time where, of course, you stayed outside until the lights came on. And when those lights came on, of course, that you had to be back at home. And so I had the experience of actually, playing outside, having the opportunity, to be at friends' houses, watching TV and different things such as that. But also, of course, went and had the experience as well of actually being at a high school, a very rural 1A high school where I learned about life. Tell people all the time, as a child, growing up in Boykin Elementary and also as a high school student, growing up in McIntosh, being a 1A school, the experiences that we had then were sort of different from a lot of experiences, children that they have right now, and I tell people all the time that is the reason why that I believe that a zip code shouldn't determine your outcome. And so although we faced many challenges of actually being at a 1A school, because, for example, we didn't have a lot of the extracurricular activities that a lot of students that they have, today. We didn't have a lot of, sports. Of course, our main sports were basketball and football. And so I tell people, a lot of my teachers were actually coaches back then. And so the focus back then was, of course, was on winning those championships and actually, being engaged in football, basketball, and band. So, on Mondays and Tuesdays, we all talked about Friday night's game. On Wednesday, if we were compliant, we got a little instruction. But on Thursday and Fridays, we were out there on the field trying to prepare the field or trying to prepare the gym for Friday night's game. And so as a child, we all thought that that was great. We thought that that was the best part about school until it was time for accountability, until it was time, of course, to take that Alabama high school graduation exam and take that ACT test. And that's when I realized, of course, even as a child, that I wasn't really college ready at the time. My high school, I didn't feel really prepared me for those high stake assessments, even though, again, I had great teachers that actually taught me about life. But the focus back then wasn't really on college and career. Back then you went to school and after high school, you worked at the local chemical plant, and that was about it. But I had aspirations of actually going to college. And so I tell people all the time, I actually struggled with the ACT test. I took the ACT test about nine consecutive times until I was able to achieve a score that would actually allow me to be able to attend college. And I wanted, like most people, I wanted to attend Alabama State University. And I applied and eventually got in, but Alabama State didn't offer a scholarship. But it was a college by the name of Concordia College in Selma that actually gave me the opportunity. And I remember that my classmates, we had about 25 or 30 students in our senior class. And we were so excited when the admission counselor from Selma came down. And of course, that was one of the only admission counselors that we saw at the time. And so, of course, all of us were ready to go to Concordia and Selma. And that's what happened. About nine or 10 of us actually attended the same college in Selma, Concordia College. And so when we got there, of course, we were all excited. And I remember sitting in those classes, Kelvin, and when the professors were actually write the materials on the board, I remember sitting in a college algebra class. And I remember being so frustrated because I didn't know how to solve the problems. And so I was sitting there among all of those students, and I realized that they actually knew the answers. They actually knew how to solve the problems, and I didn't. And so it was at that time that I really realized that I needed help. And so my college experience was quite different from everybody else because, again, while everybody else was partying at night and different things such as that, I was in a tutorial lab. I was there trying to study. I was there trying to learn what everybody else already knew. And so that actually ignited a fire in me that I realized right then that I wanted to be a teacher, but not just any teacher. I wanted to be the best teacher. I knew that I wanted to be a principal because I wanted to make sure that no student that I had the responsibility of teaching, no student felt the way that I felt sitting in those classes. And I thank God. I thank God for those struggles because those struggles, they were for me. I was supposed to have attended Concordia because Concordia taught me about life. Concordia ignited that fire within me to make sure that all of the students that I taught in my class, I was going to make sure that they were ready. All of the students that I was responsible for leading as a principal, I was going to make sure that they were ready by holding our teachers accountable. And so that's my story. That's my passion for life right now, Kevin, is that I want to make sure that all of our students, that they are truly college and career ready, because I want all of the students that graduate from Montgomery Public Schools, I want them to be able to sit in any college or at any university and feel prepared and feel I want them to experience everything that they can experience about college, knowing that they are ready, knowing that they are prepared.
Okay.
So that's my life, Kevin. I'm sorry.
No. That's what I wanted to hear. Let me ask them though. That there's an 800-pound gorilla sitting in the corner of the education complex, and I'm sure that you're an intelligent man, so I'm sure you have wondered about it. And that 800-pound gorilla is technology.
Yes, sir.
And and is it really necessary that our kids focus on going to college all the time, except for the sciences? You can make more money doing a lot of things, work less, and make more money. Is it fair to the kids who really don't really care about going to college? Like I was one of those. I wanted to learn, but I wouldn't want to know people that want to, after getting out of 12 years of school, and come think, but I couldn't handle that. I got my GED on my 12th year. I was ready to go.
Yes.
I didn't. is it fair though to insist on the everybody wanting to go to college? I just think it's 800-pound gorilla in the room, and we don't, and we can ignore it all we want to, but it's there. So what do we, how do we merge, how do we merge the possibilities of both of those
Yes,
worlds?
sir. And thank you so much for bringing that up, Kevin. And you're exactly right. And that is the reason why that we actually push college and career readiness. Again, because our students should have a choice. And you're exactly right. We should not just be pushing college. We should be pushing career readiness. And so that's exactly what we're doing here in Montgomery Public Schools, is that our students, they have all options. All options are on the table. And we actually push those options every single day. And all of our high schools have workforce development pathways. They have career development pathways. And so our students are exposed to, again, both college readiness and career readiness all at the same time. And so our students, they have that choice, because you are exactly right. There are some fields, there are some careers, again, wherein that simply require just a short-term or long-term certificate. And so we have great partnerships with our two-year colleges and universities. We have a great partnership with Trenum, and of course, all of our colleges and universities that we have right here in Montgomery County. And so our students, they are actually exposed to so much. We have so many resources right here in Montgomery, and we push all pathways right here in Montgomery Public Schools.
My son partook of Impact,
Yes, sir.
and he really was impressed by it, to the extent that he evaluated his whole school uh, 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 term from that, and he felt good about it. But what he didn't feel good about is the chaos in the rooms, the lack of respect. Um, I believe in discipline, and I realize that what the state of Alabama says, you can paddle kids, you can use corporal punishment over kids. The county that your bosses tell you, well, no, we ain't gonna play that. Now, if it worked for me, I don't know if it worked for you.
It worked for me.
Okay, and listen,
In Washington County, and I'll tell you what, in Washington County, you received it all. So
yeah. So I understand. And listen, everybody is about. We don't want to be sued here. We don't want to be sued that. Well, I'm hoping you got some of that thing like Joe Clark had. Okay? I'm hoping you willing to put it on the line for a greater outcome than I've seen in the last 4 years. Um, but tell me a little bit about your educational philosophy. I think you just gave it to me
yes,
a few minutes ago. But my thing is discipline in the public school system. Okay, uh, we put up with kids, and now I listen. I've never seen a time where everybody's got an illness. Never seen it. Everybody's got a AD, DHD, AD, whatever they got. I mean, everybody got something. I always say ADHD can be beat with BELT. Okay, but that's just me.
yes,
Now, true, there are some kids that need a little extra help.
yes, sir.
But then I find out that we cannot have a school that is based on kids who are gifted. And gifted can be good and it can be bad, whatever the case may be. But rather than what we're doing is now we're putting them in the classroom throughout everybody's classroom. And basically what we're doing, we're putting an albatross on that guy who can run the 40-yard dash in 14 seconds. Now has to be slowed down because we got to make sure that the other guy can catch up. So aren't we sort of denying them their potential by holding them back sometimes because everybody's got to be in the same classroom almost?
Yes, sir. Well, yes, sir. And I thank you so much for that question as well, Kevin. And let me go back to address your question about discipline. I absolutely believe in discipline. And in Montgomery Public Schools, we are definitely following our board policies. Our teachers, of course, and they have received extensive training this summer regarding climate and culture. And as I tell people all the time, in climate and culture is very important. As a matter of fact, I have this saying, in that climate and culture, would actually eat academics for lunch. And that simply means what in that we have to make sure, of course, what in that our classrooms that they are well disciplined, where that our students that they actually understand the rules and procedures. Because again, before a teacher can actually teach, that teacher has to have control of that classroom. And so that is a huge priority in all of our schools. Again, it is our number one priority, as a matter of fact, because again, without that discipline, without that structure, without the students actually following the rules, so much time would be dedicated on trying to, again, get the classroom under control. And we need every minute of the day to make sure that we're actually focusing in on instruction. So we are working with our teachers. But Kevin, we can't do this without the assistance of parents. We have to have parents at the table, and we are begging for our parents to come to the table, and for the ones that are at the table, of course, to stay engaged, to stay engaged with us, and actually to help us to bring more parents to the table. Because again, we can't do this alone. Yes, we have rules. Yes, our teachers, they have been trained on classroom management. Yes, our teachers have been trained on culturally responsive instruction, and so we're making sure that our lessons that they are highly engaging, that they are relevant to today's time. But though we need the assistance of parents, to make sure that for one, that they are sending their children to school every single day, because attendance matters. And I want to talk more about our chronic absenteeism rate as well. But we need parents to send our children to school every single day, but also we need them to send our children to school ready to learn, and also to make sure, of course, whether that they have worked with them at home, and making sure that they come to school, that they respect those that are in authority.
Right. Listen, I agree with you on the parent thing, but here's my problem with the parents. Everybody's not going to be a good parent. They're just not going to do it. It seems to me, because my son had to go through this for 4 years at that school. It seems to me we get rid of that problem and send it home with its parents, because of course, and again, now there's a Latin term that applies to your profession called what you know the Latin term I'm looking for, loco parentes,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
which means in place of the parents.
Yes, sir.
So when they come to that school, you guys are the parents per se. So why can't you guys instill discipline in them, whether or not their parents do it or not? If not, because there's two places you go in America, and nobody cares if your mothers are drunk, your daddy's drunk, you don't know them, and that's jail in the United States Army.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
if when you go to jail, nobody cares if you're special. They treat you like everybody else. So at some point, the reality has to hit these kids that there are rules of the universe, and one of those rules is order.
Yes, sir.
So why can't you guys get rid of kids out of school that are a nuisance? And I realize some of them got problems. I got you. Some of them got problems, but that's not my child's fault.
Yes, sir.
So why is it such a difficult task? Matter of fact, my son said some girl kept cussing the teacher out. They took it to the office, and the office took them right back. So why do we have that?
Well, Kevin, now in that situation, that shouldn't have happened at all, because again, we do follow our student code of conduct, and of course, in that code of conduct, we do have a list of infractions and the consequences that should be applied for those infractions. Now, the description that you just described, now that child should not have been sent back to the teacher's classroom. Now, I'm not aware of that situation. That's something that I would definitely have to investigate. But no, we do have rules in place. Of course, we do follow our student code of conduct. And depending on the infraction, of course, that would actually determine the consequence that is actually applied. But though, we do our very, very best to try to keep our students in school. And we do try to place a lot of interventions in place so that we can actually help to resolve some of those issues. We try to get to to the root causes of those things that may actually be causing the student to, of course, display those certain behaviors that they are actually showing. And so we do have steps along the way. But now for severe infractions, severe infractions do cause for us to maybe to place the student in an alternative environment, or we may have to place the child in our in-school suspension program, or else place the child or assign out of school suspension. So again, depending on the infraction, of course, that actually determines the consequence. We are doing our very, very best to try to, again, to work with our parents, even having parental workshops right now, so that we can actually help our parents to understand, again, we are doing our very, very best again to try to put interventions in place, Kevin, because again, sending them home is not the answer in many.
But it's the answer for the kids in that classroom.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. But we do try to put interventions in place because again, we want to try to keep our students in school.
Okay.
But though again, depending on the infractions, that would determine the consequence.
Montgomery schools seem to be, and the whole city of Montgomery seems to be different from the surrounding communities when it comes to school discipline, school order. Prattville, Millbrook, with Tumpka, they don't seem to have the multitude of problems. Now they're smaller schools, and I agree with that. But we seem in Montgomery, we seem to want to use, well, because they come from a poor house, then that's an excuse for them. When Valiant Cross, a private school downtown, has taken some of those same kids, made them given them order and a high expectations, and those kids seem to be rising to the occasion. Is the expectation in Montgomery Public Schools, is it high enough?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, Kevin, I'm going to say this right here. And all of our teachers, they know that their number one priority is to make sure that we're teaching every single day. And so, and our principals, that they understand that we have to address those discipline problems as they occur. Because again, we don't want one student to actually stop the instruction for all of the students that's in the class. And so, of course, we do deal with those issues. And so as those issues, they occur, again, those administrators, they are responsible for making sure that we address those issues. And again, those consequences, they are applied. Now, again, depending on the infraction, that actually determines the consequence. And for a lot of infractions, again, the step is to send that child back home. And of course, we also believe, of course, and again, in trying to address the root cause of the issue. And so again, whenever we send that child home, if we have to send that child home, before that child actually comes back, we actually try to put some restorative practices in place. So we use, again, a combination of techniques that we, again, put in place to try to address some of those root causes. We do have restorative practices in place. We do have counseling services that are in place. Not only counseling services for the children, but counseling services for the parents as well. Because again, we know that sending the child home for a couple of days and then that child coming back, if we don't address those root causes, again, that child is going to do it all over again. And so it's important, again, that we actually address those root causes. And we're doing that. But at the same time, I can't stress enough is that we must have our parents fully involved to help us, again, to address those issues. Because this is the thing about it, Kevin, our theme for this year is superheroes, because that's exactly who our employees are. They are our superheroes. And in a day and time, our employees are called upon to do so many different things. We are called upon to solve so many different problems. And in a lot of cases, we are the stand-in parents. And so we're doing all that we possibly can to not only to help our children, but also to help our parents as well, so that they can fully understand the importance of education, and so they can fully understand in making sure that they know that we need them at the table, that this has to be a joint effort. We can do all that we can during the school hours, but that we have to have the parents at home reinforcing those same expectations.
And I think I think everybody understands that. But now one of your former teachers here says that why, when a student threatens or hits a teacher, some administrators won't do anything. They blame the teacher for getting hit. She said, "I just retired, and that happened to me." So, discipline is a big deal in Montgomery schools.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I can tell you this right here, Kevin. I'm not aware of that situation, but that
Mhm.
shouldn't have happened at all. We do not allow our students, of course, whether to threaten any of our employees. We know, of course, that that is a very severe infraction that calls for a very severe consequence, and that consequence, of course, includes removing a child from the school, and it also includes involving local law authorities as well. So again, I'm not familiar with that situation, but in a situation like that, that is a very severe
Right.
situation, and it, of course, and it should have very severe consequences.
Right. And again, you're not the no superintendent is totally uh, at fault all the time because you work for a couple of people. Okay, you work for mainly us,
Yes, sir.
but you also work under the instruction of the Board of Education. We won't even get into that one right now because that's who you work for. So we're not going to get political on that because I understand that even they disagree on things. Um, but I think it's in our policy that we don't use corporal punishment in Montgomery County.
Right. Corporal punishment is not allowed in Montgomery Public Schools.
But it's by law it is allowed.
Right, right. From several districts that I've been in actually allow corporal punishment. Right, yes, sir. But it's not allowed here in Montgomery Public Schools.
Okay, I won't even get into that one right now because you and I can't solve that problem here. The governor came out with a Bill of Rights for teachers, and it's about time. But that Bill of Rights for teachers don't do any good unless you, the Board of Education, uh, gives them the support behind those Bill of Rights things.
Is
Okay,
that correct?
yeah, and teaching is a hard. Listen, you guys are the one thing we all got in common. Every last one of us. If we can read,
Thank you,
somebody taught
teacher. Thank you, teacher. Yes,
us.
sir.
Somebody taught us. Okay. One of the other things, your book of your ordinance book of behavior. In that book of behavior, it says everybody must wear a belt to school. I guarantee you, you go to any of your schools today, you'll see people without a belt on. Why is there a this tolerance for infractions of the code, and that's why nobody takes it seriously because you come to no belt, your shirt all out of your pants and all that stuff, and now even though you're not supposed to have phones in school, I walked one the other day, had phone all out. So there just seems to be me. There's no strict adherence to the policies that are on paper. How come?
Yes, sir. Well, Kevin, when our administrators and employees, they are definitely enforcing policies. Now, in regard, now you mentioned the belt issue. Again, now with that, again, what in keep in mind, of course, what in that, again, we don't want to, again, what in send our students what in home, again, for any reasons for such as a belt. If a student doesn't have a belt, then of course, we actually, in many of our schools, we actually have clothing closets and we actually, again, we provide them with a belt. And again, we actually we call the parents, we actually remind the parents, of course, of our rules. We remind our students of the rules. And if the student doesn't have a belt for that day, then we'll actually supply that belt. If the student continues to come to school without a belt, we try to find out the reason why that the student doesn't have a belt again, and we try to solve that issue. If the student is just merely being defiant, then again, we have rules in place that student might be sent to in-school suspension. If the student again continues to be defiant, and again, if we know that we have actually, for example, supplied that student with the belt and the student just refuses to wear, then again, again, we actually go through our steps, of course, for our consequences. And again, and as you mentioned, even with the cell phone policy, again, we are following the Focus Act. Again, we have rules in place. Again, we have steps how we're actually addressing that. All of our schools are now equipped with the younger pouches. All of our students, they are supposed to lock their cell phones. For our high school students, they are supposed to lock their phones in their younger pouches upon entering the buildings. And of course, they are unlocked at the end of the day. So again, we are having to, again, this is a new act. Of course, school, we're just on our third week of school. So we are having to remind some students, we're having to remind some parents, and we are following our procedures. If a student is actually caught with their cell phone out, that cell phone, it is retrieved and it is actually kept for 24 hours. And the parents, they have to come and pick it up. And so we are actually seeing a lot of success with that policy. But again, we will have some hiccups along the way. We've had to, again, even, send some students home, again, for the failure of actually adhering to the policy. So again, things are not going to be 100% perfect this early, but I can tell you this, that it is getting better every single day. And our students, for the most part, they are definitely following the law, and our administrators are implementing the law.
One of our listeners or viewers asked, what's the official policy regarding the smelling of marijuana in our schools? We smell it on the kids and their parents at the bus stops and at our morning walks. And I realize, and I think most of us realize, but if you smell like marijuana, that means marijuana smoking is going on in your house. Now, I don't care what goes on in your house, but when it comes to affecting, because marijuana, whether the knowledge is in, we know if it didn't do anything for you, nobody'd smoke it. Okay, so obviously it does something. It screws up the whole atmosphere. It taints the whole educational atmosphere if a child comes to school smelling like marijuana. What's the policy?
So if a child comes to school smelling of marijuana, of course, that child is immediately kept in the office, and we actually call the parents. We don't allow that child, of course, to go to any of our classes. We actually ask for the parent to come to the school and actually pick the child up and send the child back home. And again, depending on the severity of it, depending on, again, that particular situation, we may have to involve law enforcement. But again, if a child actually comes to school smelling of marijuana, we contact the parents. We actually follow our steps for interventions. And again, and depending on, again, the severity of the situation, we may have to involve law enforcement.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And of course, DHR as well.
Okay. And I realize that's a pain in the absolute butt, but we have got to get control. That's why I'm glad you get. I'm looking for some Joe Clark in you there, Doc.
Yes, sir. And again, and again, Kevin, and we are saying again, the key thing here, again, the child is actually coming to school that way. That means, of course, that the child actually left home. That means that the child actually rode to school with a parent, and so the child left the car smelling of that. And so again, these are also some parental issues that we have to address as well, which is the reason why that we actually send the child back home, which is the reason why that in some cases we may have to involve DHR and law enforcement.
Okay, let me ask you a question. If you went to a construction site and you saw everybody in three-piece suits, what's the first thing you ask yourself?
Are they prepared for the job? I don't think you can do much at a construction site other than look and observe. I don't know if you're going to be doing much.
Now, the reason why I asked that question, how you show up in school dressed determines how you're going to act. People with their pants below their butt, I see it. I was at a school the other day. I was at Percy Julian the other day. The no belt, the pants hanging down, and to tell you the honest to God truth, I don't know how some of these fellas put them pants on. I just don't know. I ain't never seen the tightness of pants that they got. I mean, Lord, if they got to run, they in trouble. But be that as it may, I know it's the style of today, and I different generations have different style. I had platforms like that broke my ankle 14 times. So, trying to be taller than I was. So I understand there are cultural issues. But will you agree with that statement? If you look good, you act good. If you come to school looking like a bum, like you don't care, that attitude is going to be pervasive in your attitude. What say you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I absolutely agree with what you said, Kevin. And Kevin, and we don't allow our students to walk around with their pants below their bottoms and everything. That is something within that absolutely should not be occurring. And I know that our administrators, I know that our teachers, that they constantly remind students of proper attire, the proper way to wear their clothes. And so they actually address those issues when they actually give students verbal warnings. And after verbal warnings, of course, and then consequences follow. Some of the consequences may be in-school suspension, again, for repeated acts. Then that is actually called defiance. Again, and so that actually moves it up to a more severe consequence. But that is not something that we allow. We continue to try to remind our students of proper attire. And we actually address those students, and they actually receive consequences for that behavior. Now, is it 100% perfect? Well, then, I mean, again, we know that a student, that we can give a student a verbal warning. The student actually pulls up his pants, and then you look at them a minute later down the hall, that they fall right back down.
Right. That's right.
So we're asking for the teacher down the hall to make sure that we reiterate the same thing. And again, and if it's a repeated act, then of course it actually receives a more severe consequence.
Mm-hmm. And again, you won't. This is your first year here, and you haven't been there long, so I'm gonna give you some grace. Okay? But because I was just at a school the other day, and I realized that people are used to doing things a certain kind of way. But I got to tell you, Dr. Z, that Black folks succeeded under some of the harshest circumstances of any group of people in this country. And we did it because it was always the pursuit of excellence.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You couldn't be second place may work in some places, but second place didn't work for Black folks. And even if they were first place, they called hell.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But what we don't need to do is lower the standard. What we've been doing in public school in the last 30 years is lowering the ceiling and raising the floor.
Yes, sir.
It is giving people the illusion that they're going someplace.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So academically, how are we doing? And they say that if you don't read by third grade, they pretty much got a cell for you in jail. How are we doing academically?
Yes, sir. And we are definitely improving, Kevin. We're actually waiting now on our official test results, of course, waiting to come in, but we're actually improving. And I am so thankful, Kevin, waiting for the awesome work that our employees are doing every single day. When we of course, all of the school districts in the state of Alabama, all of the school districts across the state, we are struggling with a severe teacher shortage. We are struggling with trying to, again, receive a pipeline of teachers that are actually going through our educational universities. And so, but with that being said, our teachers are actually doing an amazing job. They have worked all summer long to learn the best practices that are out there. We're still working to improve climate and culture in all of our schools. And so we're working with our teachers again to make sure that they understand those strategies that have been proven to work, that we can actually help our students. We're trying to address, again, some of the issues that we know that our students are dealing with. I tell people all the time, our students, that they face more trauma in a week than what we've ever faced in a lifetime, Kevin. And so we have to be understanding of that fact as well as making sure that we're actually holding our students accountable. I couldn't agree with you more. We have to make sure that we are raising the standards and we are holding to those standards. And we are definitely doing that. We are definitely doing that. And so I'm so proud of our teachers. Our teachers, our reading coaches, our math coaches, they're doing, again, a wonderful job trying to make sure that we're addressing all of the needs of our students. We have actually improved on all of our intervention strategies, those strategies that impact tier 1 students, tier 2 students, tier 3 students. So again, our educators are doing an absolutely wonderful job of making sure that we are preparing our students to be college and career ready.
Okay. Now, again, I'm not the smartest guy in Montgomery, so when I ask this question,
Okay.
just give me some grace and say just consider the source.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Um, there's an old big lie been told a long time that poverty is caused by. Hold on, I got it. They blame lack of money for poverty. I say it is crime that creates poverty. What say you? Because if you don't, if your community is not very well educated, nobody's going to bring any businesses into your communities. You won't be able to have jobs, especially if it's littered with crime. So crime in itself is a big ingredient in poverty. What say you? Am I all washed up on that idea?
Well, Kevin, again, I absolutely believe, of course, that again, our number one job is to make sure that we are preparing our students to be college and career ready. We know, of course, that the more students that we actually send to college, the more students that we actually send to our technical schools for them to either get their degree or get their trade, the more successful our students are going to be. We have to make sure, again, that we are providing the workforce for our city. So again, I believe that in order for this to happen, we have to work hand in hand. The school district has to work hand in hand with the community. The school district has to work hand in hand with all of our stakeholders, again, to make sure that we are actually filling our city with students that are prepared for the next chapter in their lives. Now, for the students, of course, that are not coming to school, for the students, of course, that have actually that have chosen a different path and they're not in school and they have actually turned, of course, into a life of crime, or they are facing, significant challenges. Again, those are the adults that we see that are actually contributing to, I think, some of the crime that we have in our city. But in order for us to address that, Kevin, we have to make sure that we are working hand in hand, not blaming each other, but actually working hand in hand. I tell people all the time, our job is to educate our students. But in order for us to educate our students, Kevin, I have to have them in the building. I have to have them in the building. And so the number one issue that we're facing right now is chronic absenteeism. And again, and we realize, of course, that all of us, that we went through a very traumatic event, of course, with COVID. But the problem was that after COVID, our students, they stayed home during that time. But the problem is that after COVID, a lot of our students didn't come back to school. We have students, matter of fact, I was in some meetings on yesterday. We have students that are now enrolling that have not been to school in 3 years. They have not been to school in 3 years. We have some students that have not been to school ever. And so these are students that we are enrolling in like 5th grade, and they've never been in school. And so, Kevin, we are dealing with an issue right now to where we have got to get our parents on board. We have got to get our parents on board, and we're doing everything that we possibly can. We are sending our employees to knock on doors. We have solicited the help from the DA's office. She's working with us. We are working with so many partners, such as HMFI. We are working with so many partners as we're actually trying to address this chronic
Right.
absenteeism rate.
Mhm.
Uh,
I think I got a call for you, Dr. Z. Go ahead with Dr. Z.
Dr. Z, that's the name you've been given.
That's,
How are you, Dr. Byrd?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Can he hear me?
yes, he can. Yes.
He acknowledged that he can hear me.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, he can hear you.
Okay. Dr. Byrd, my name is Brenda Irby. I am an advocate for public school students, and I have been involved for many years with attempting to get the appropriate public school students the appropriate services that they need. A lot of the kids have not appropriately been identified. What do you plan to do about that? Don't hang up, because I have some more questions.
Okay. And so we're asking
I can't hear him, Kevin.
Well, I'm hearing him.
I can't hear him.
Well, he ain't saying nothing yet.
And so,
We'll tell him when he starts talking.
yes, ma'am. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Well, so Kevin, perhaps you can relay the message to,
Yeah.
He can't hear me, Kevin.
Well, we hear you, but you didn't hear him?
Can you hear me?
No, you need to connect us so that I can hear him also. I can't follow up a question if I can't hear what his response is.
Well, I can't. I guess I'm stuck in the middle of this now. I guess I have to relay it to him and write it on the screen.
Okay. Okay.
Because I
ask. Okay. You need to get your act together. We have been looking forward to Dr. Byrd coming for many, many weeks. Okay.
Okay. Why don't you just get on your computer?
It's there.
You can hear everything.
It's
on your phone.
Hold on, Kevin.
Get off.
Hold on.
Yeah, get off the phone and just you can listen.
I'm on my telephone. I have to use my phone.
Okay.
I'm not available. Hold on.
Okay. All right. I got to figure out what that is. Something.
Okay. Okay. I have it now. Okay. I can hear. Okay.
Okay. Good. Good. So.
Okay. I can hear, but he's not responding to the question that I asked.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear.
Okay.
Okay. Dr. Byrd.
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Byrd.
Yes, ma'am.
You're listening to the phone, aren't you? You're not. I mean, you're using the phone. You got to get something else because it's going to be a delay.
Okay. Okay. Tell him I am concerned about the help.
Okay.
Kevin.
Yeah, I hear you.
Tell him that I am concerned about how they're utilizing the Help in Montgomery Family Initiatives program go to it, make an entire family, if one child is having a problem, to go to a court system. That's the beginning of them putting them on the road to going to jail. Why are you sending kids' names to HM Help in Montgomery Family Initiatives program? Because they're getting all of the money for those students, and if the students are not receiving the appropriate services, why are they sending those children to referring them to that
program? Okay, let him answer. Because I can't. That's kind of. So did you hear what she said about the help?
Yes,
okay.
sir. Yes, sir.
What's your answer?
Yes, sir. And so HFMI is one of our dedicated partners, and so we use them along with other partners to make sure, of course, that we are connecting families to resources that they may need. And again, Kevin, as I said before, our children, they actually have so many needs. As a matter of fact, before I jumped on the call with you, I was actually working with our homeless liaison because we actually discovered some students, of course, that are homeless. And so we received that information on this morning. And so we were actually working. So we're working with that family to make sure that we're able to provide them with some stability. And that sometimes involves, of course, putting them up in hotels. It involves connecting them with other outside agencies that are able to also to assist with getting them some housing, to make sure that we're able to give them some food, because again, we have to make sure that our students, that we are addressing all of our students' needs. And the first thing, of course, and one of the highest priorities is making sure that our students, that they feel safe and secure, and that they have shelter. Again, our students, they face so much trauma every single day that, again, a child that doesn't have a stable home is going to be a child that's not coming to school ready to learn, because that child, of course, is thinking about their home environment. So we have to address all of our children's needs. And if there are any children that are out there, or any parents out there that actually need additional help, we're actually asking parents and people like this caller to actually to help connect us. Now, what our schools are actually doing right now for all of the students that have not shown up for school at this time, our office staff and our administrators and counselors, they are busy making contacts. They are calling parents to find out why our children are not in school. Depending on the reasons, we are actually connecting them with resources that they have. We are actually providing uniforms. We are actually, again, connecting them with partners such as HMFI, again, so that we can make sure that we are addressing all of their needs.
It seems to me, though, that, my Lord, you guys got to do so many things besides teach.
Yes, sir.
Until it's almost impossible to actually concentrate on teaching. Has that always been that way, or is it proliferated to the point now exponentially? I mean, what's the problem?
Kevin, I can tell you this right here. I've been in this for 25 years, and I've never seen it this bad. This is the state of education right now. And this is just not a Montgomery issue, Kevin. This is an issue that's everywhere. This is an issue that's everywhere. And so we are really, and again, like I said before, our theme for this year is superheroes, because again, that's our employees, they are absolute superheroes, because we are being called upon to do every single thing. We're being called upon to do every single thing. And so again, we do all that we can whenever we have our children in our buildings. And right now we are actually even expanding the time that we keep our children out of school, because we're asking teachers and outside stakeholders to help us to develop minimum programs so that we can keep our students beyond 3:30, so that we can keep them to 7:30, 8 o'clock, so that we can keep them, again, in a safe and secure environment. And again, I tell people all the time, we can solve these issues once we actually get them in school. But the problem right now is that we need our community to support us in actually getting students to school. We can do a lot of things. But Kevin, we can't drive up to the homes at 6 o'clock in the morning, knock on the doors, get the children out of the bed, put them in the showers, put clothes on them, put them in our cars, and then bring them to school. We do have limits. We need our parents to meet us halfway by actually sending our children to school. And once we get them to school, I would take the responsibility. I'm taking the responsibility of actually educating them. And I'm doing my very, very best to keep them in school every single day, all day, as much as I possibly can. But when we have to release them, to the homes and to the community, this is when we need parents, we need the city, we need all of our community stakeholders to step up. We have to do this thing together. It's time out for all of the blaming and different things such as that. It's time for us to come together and work together so that we can address the needs of our community, so we can address the needs of our students and parents.
I'm beginning to feel sorry for y'all now.
I want to just come on out and help us.
It is an amazing local parentis is a theoretical kind of symbolic kind of position, but we've turned it into a literal parenting process in public school. Let me ask something. Is it our problem? I mean, did we, no, excuse me, your generation, did y'all cause this?
Kevin, you know what? There's a lot of things I can't say on the air. Now, if we were having a conversation not on the air, I would tell you something. I would be.
I believe that alone.
I wouldn't be more constrained as I am right now with him. But Kevin, I'm going to tell you this right here. But Kevin, I'm going to tell you this. It's time for parents to be parents. How about that? It is time for parents to be parents. It's time, and again, I'm going to try to say this as constrained as I can possibly can with them, but it's time out for everybody trying to blame everybody. It's time for parents to actually be parents. We have to take responsibility of raising our own children. We can't continue to blame everyone else for the jobs that we didn't do.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to try to stop it right there.
That is a great way to give that message out. I appreciate that. Yeah, because I hear what you're saying.
Yes.
I I hear what you're saying. Wow, man, we could talk all day long about this. But our communities, we've got to stop. One thing we've done as a people, we make excuses for the things that parents don't do, parents do, kids don't do. Again, everybody don't have ADHD.
Right.
Okay,
I,
but
I
but but
absolutely agree.
but when I got here in 1991, it was called the crazy check. And everybody was getting a lot of people in public school were getting crazy. So you didn't send your kids to school to learn. You sent them to school so they get free money. Okay, and that's a whole different story. You didn't say that. I did.
I didn't say
No, no, I
that.
said that. No, I said that. Well, anyway, man, this school thing. Are you glad you took the job?
Most definitely, most definitely, most definitely. Montgomery Public Schools, as I said before, it is a dream. It is a dream job, Kevin. And I absolutely believe in servant leadership. And I believe that I was sent here to serve. And that is exactly what I intend to do every single day. What in this position as superintendent gives me the opportunity. I feel as though that the Lord has enlarged my territory. And so with that responsibility, comes the responsibility of actually being a servant to the people, to being a servant to this community, and that's exactly that's exactly who I am. I'm a servant, and I intend to be a servant to the people, and so I'm going to give it my all every single day, Kevin. And I tell people all the time, I'm not a politician. I don't want to be, but what I am, I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher within that absolutely believes that every child should receive a high quality education. I thank God that I've been blessed. I realize and I appreciate the struggles that I've been through as a child, again, which actually ignited my passion because, again, those struggles that I went through, they were for me. They were for me for this particular time because I'm always reminded how I felt when I was sitting in those classes. And again, I didn't feel prepared. I felt shame, but I actually did something about it. I made sure that I went back into my dormitory room and I studied day and night. I never attended a single party, Kevin. Back then, we called them. When we went to clubs, it was called a hole in the walls. I never had that experience at all. Again, because I was sitting in my dormitory room trying to catch up as to where I should have been. And so I don't want any students to have to experience that. I don't want any of our students to feel beneath anybody else because, again, they came from their school district. And so it is my mission every single day to hold people accountable, to hold adults accountable, but at the same time, provide them with the supports that they need to make sure we're giving our students and our parents every single thing that they need. And so, again, that's my plan.
I'm going to give you the last word after I say this, though. I only ask of one thing from public schools. I'll probably never have any more kids in public school, but I'm also going to say my son says that you guys did a good job. I mean, he didn't like the chaos in the room. He loved impact. Today he's graduating from basic training, but when he took the ASVAB test, he was in the top 15% of the people in the country
Yes,
who
sir.
got the score that he had, and he went 4 years of school there at the school. So the schools are not all bad.
Oh yeah, our schools, Kevin, are doing an absolutely amazing job,
Right.
Kevin. They are. I mean, I could have only dreamed of the resources that we provide our students here in Montgomery Public Schools.
Mhm.
Again, I've been in many districts, and again, we provide a top-notch education. Again, we provide our students with so many resources that they can't receive in other school districts. And so, I'm so glad to hear that testimony from your son because, again, that's what we do every single day.
But he gave me hell too, though. He gave me hell too about the chaos in the rooms every day. He said, "Well, you sent me there." I said, "Yeah, but well, guess what? Guess what he did when he joined the army? He said, these kids here act the same way they acted in school. Well, so what I did was I prepared you. Okay, that's what we did. My only question of you, my friend, is this: we got to get back to the pursuit of excellence,
Yes, sir.
and there's no room for third place, second place. You either at the table or you're on the menu.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
give me your last word, and what do you want people to know? And what's Doctor Z Birds? I don't know why I call you. I don't know
Call
why.
me whatever. Call me whatever you want to call me.
I,
Call me Zach.
yeah, Zach, I don't know what you're measuring, what the metric you use for success in that school, but I hope in the system, but I hope it is one again of excellence, uh being being better. When I got on my knees last night, you know what I asked God to do? I'll tell everybody, make me a better person today than I was yesterday.
That's it.
And when you get done with our kids, your first 4 years, I want them to be better. So what's the last? I'll give you the last word, and you can tell the people what you want them to know.
Yes, sir, Kevin, and I thank you so much. And what you said sums it up. We're going to make sure that our students that they are prepared. We have KPIs, key performance indicators, in place for just about every position. What we've done, Kevin, is that we've actually put accountability in place, because this is my message to our adults, to our employees. We are blessed, Kevin. We are blessed. We receive a paycheck every month. We have good health coverage. We have a good retirement plan. We have houses. We have cars. Our students deserve the same opportunities. Our students deserve the same opportunities that we have right now. And the only way that they are going to realize this good American dream is that we have to provide them with a high quality education. And so that's our mission every single day, that we're going to provide our students with a high quality education. Now, I believe that we have the best schools in this state. I see it every day. I see what our employees are doing every single day to make sure that our students, they are prepared. Do we have challenges? Yes, sir. In order to meet those challenges, we have to have everybody to the table. We have to have our parents to the table, meeting us half the way. And I can say this, Kevin. Our parents are doing just that. The majority of our parents are doing just that. And we have some, again, that we are having to work with, but we are doing that. We are reaching out. We're doing everything that we possibly can to get our parents involved. But my message is this right here. We're going to hold everybody accountable in making sure that we are providing our children with that high quality education. We're going to make sure that we are providing the workforce that our community needs so that our city can continue to thrive and grow. I take responsibility for doing that. Once our children, they enter our doors, I take full responsibility for doing that. But what I need help with actually getting our students to the doors. I need help with actually getting our students to class every single day on time. Right now, again, we have an issue with chronic absenteeism. Our students are missing too many days of school. And we need our parents to help us with that. We need our parents, again, to make sure that they are at school, but when they come to school, make sure that they are ready to learn. We need our parents, again, to reinforce those parenting skills that we had from years ago, to where our students, that they come to school knowing that they have to respect those in authorities. Again, instill those values at home so we don't have to start over and do it at school. And that's what we're having to do right now. But in doing that does take time away from the classroom. And that's what we're not going to have. You mentioned discipline before, Kevin. Yes, sir. I absolutely believe in that. And we are making sure that we enforce those policies for those students and parents that are not cooperating. Then are we sending students back home with their parents? Yes. But are we actually helping parents, again, with the tools and the resources that they need so that we can get Johnny back at school and so that we can get mom back at school to help us as well? Yes, sir. We're doing that. We're doing everything within that we possibly can to make sure that our students, that they are prepared. We are ready for the challenge, Kevin. This is going to be an amazing year. And I think all of our stakeholders that they're going to see exactly what Montgomery Public Schools has in store. This is going to be a school district of excellence, and we're getting there every single day.
Outstanding. Hey, one more. I've been having this suggestion for a couple of years. Why can't all of our high schools have a coat that goes with, for seniors to wear on Fridays? So when we walk in that room, when we walk in that school, we know who the leaders are. Our immediate future leaders are our seniors. I look at Valiant Cross uniforms, and only seniors can wear these things. That shows people that they're the leader. You can walk in there and know who they are, and I think they'll act differently. I
That's
think if we used to have the jackets for the football players and all that stuff, and that's fine. I don't know if they still give them out, but I would say each school needs its own attire, and that coat for seniors. And I'm telling you, it'll make a world of difference if you have them on and they're walking through that school, and every freshman in that school wants one of those jackets.
Yes, I agree, Kevin. I agree. I think that that's a wonderful idea. And our principals, they do have the autonomy to make that happen. Now, of course, we do have uniforms in place, and then we do have to follow uniform compliance procedures. But yes, sir, our principals can make that happen. I think that that's an excellent idea.
Yeah.
I remember that as a child growing up as well, Kevin. And you're exactly right. And it makes a difference. It makes a difference.
Because you shouldn't just have to play football or sports to be recognized for your tenacity and for your commitment to the school and to the educators there and to the experiences that you have had. So I just think that coat would do that for you.
Exactly.
Doc, don't be a stranger. I mean, I was nice to you today.
Yes, sir.
This is your first time.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that grace.
Yeah. And the first time is always, we're going to be light on you.
Yes, sir.
Don't expect this all the time. But
I got you.
I think you do it. I think initially my impression of you is a real good one.
Well, thank you so much, Kevin. I appreciate that. That means a lot. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Now, don't make me talk about you next time.
Okay. I will try to stay off your bad list. How about that?
I'm just saying. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Dr. Zacchaeus Byrd. I'll call him Dr. Z. Y'all don't get to do that. Okay. Dr. Byrd, thank you, sir. I appreciate you coming on. And you can do this. If you want the microphone again, any other time, just let me know. We have you on. And next time I got a bigger audience, because I forgot to tell people you're coming on. But I'm going to replay this tomorrow and let people know you'll be on so they can see what your policy is, what your philosophy is, and get to know who you are.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right, guys, we got to go. My time is just about up. See, normally I don't do this on Friday. I don't do this on Fridays. Okay. Now, Brenda, call me back. I don't know what was going on with your phone, but everybody else could hear everybody else. So I don't know what was up with yours. But anyway, anybody want anything else before I go? Anyway, we're gonna redo it. I don't work on Friday, so this will be tomorrow. This will be tomorrow's show in the 8 to 9 hour, and you'll be able to hear them again. Okay, so I gotta run. Should I play it tonight? No, I shouldn't play it tonight. Let's play it tomorrow. Okay. So, gotta go. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I want to take Dr. Byrd for taking his time out of his office, and he did pretty good, as a matter of fact. And Brenda, I think the phone was your issue, not mine. But we'll check that out next time. Mr. White, good afternoon. Good afternoon or good morning to you. Now I gotta go see if I can find my son's graduation on Facebook somewhere. Okay. So see you guys later. Have a great day. And don't forget, it is not the fall that gives you strength, but it's the getting up each and every time you do. So my advice for you, honestly, is keep getting up. Okay? Keep getting up. If you fall down, get up. All of us have failed. All of us have fallen. But that doesn't make us a failure. We just got to get up and try it one more time. Good morning to you. Have a great day. And thanks for listening. Or tuning in or looking at whatever she's doing. See you later.
Thankful whispers in a gentle breeze. Grateful heart with such sweet ease. Thank you, Lord, for every breath I take. For the love that heals and the joy you make in the tapestry of life. I see your grace, every moment filled with your warm embrace. Through valleys deep and mountains high, your faith a beacon in the sky. Every every trial with lessons wrapped tight. In every shadow, you are my light.
As far as I love that boy, but I love me too. So, all right, hold on. I gotta back up. Okay, you know what I do sometimes, right? I can't drive very long. I get sleepy going to Prattville. Okay, I don't like to run off the road one day from Montgomery to Prattville. Something about the freeway just actually, it traumatizes me. I don't know why, but it does. Okay, I'm more scared to get on the freeway sometimes than I am jumping out of the airplane. I can't do it, but I'm working on it. I am. I promise I am. Anyway, I gotta go now. Rashad just dogged me about my not being at his graduation. Well, I'm gonna be there via the internet here in a minute. See ya. Just wouldn't want to be ya.
Thankful for